Hi, my name is Ryan Wynn. I'm a 19-year-old Winnipeg artist, and this is the first time I experienced racism. Before I came into grade 9, in middle school, all throughout middle school, I hadn't really had any interaction with racism. I didn't really think about like what my nationality was or anything like that, so I didn't worry about it. It only started in grade 9 when I started to think about it. Once I started to open my eyes a little bit more and understand more about myself, it's when people started to look at me differently. And all throughout grade 9, I was pretty much an outcast, and this problem only got worse throughout my high school years. It made things really difficult to um, succeed in high school, and I had to work a lot harder than other students. Pretty much grade 9 had been the year in which I was discovering who I was and also opposing people who hadn't opposed me in the past. In grade 10, I fell into a bit of depression and I felt really isolated because of the racism I was experiencing in my school. I didn't really know what to do, to be honest, because everything I knew and understood was broken down, was pretty much reduced to nothing. And that's also what my confidence felt like. It felt like it was nothing. I was at my lowest in grade 10. I had no one to go to. I felt like everyone was an enemy and I'd have to fight because I was the only mixed kid there. There wasn't very much diversity. And that pretty much lasted throughout grade 10 and 11. People would come to me and try to sympathize with me, but no one really understood. I would nod and tell them that they would know or like yeah, take their advice. And I didn't know how to put it into words because I was still shy. And grade 10 and 11 were those years where I really couldn't speak out because it was just me. The end of grade 11 came, and I still felt the same way about how I was feeling and thinking. Like, all that was this, like, empty feeling, and I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do. I was questioning a lot of things. It got really personal where I felt like I was becoming suicidal because of how much pressure is being put on me and how many people would throw all these racial slurs every day. They would say it quietly and talk behind my back, but I was aware of what everyone was saying of me, all the jokes made. I decided to put a stop to that in grade 12. So when grade 12 started, I had this new type of energy because it was my last year. I didn't really care what I would do. I was concerned with leaving a good legacy that people could look back on. And if they remembered me, then they would remember what I spoke of and what I did. I generally tried to give off a happy vibe, a more positive vibe, to let people be more accepting of what I was trying to teach. And at this time, my older brother Tyler had already graduated. So I became the like figurehead of my family. And it was up to me now to represent my family in this last year because I knew after this year we wouldn't be here. So I was trying to make as big as an impact as I could before I left. Everything was moving so fast, and yet I still stuck to what I was preaching throughout high school. It was already halfway through the year when I started making this dent, and things were different. I definitely didn't feel like I was a joke to everyone now. Halfway through the school year, I was feeling more accomplished, but still burdened. I was still alone in a way, even though more people of other nationalities had come to the school and I could talk to them. I think the whole school year after that started to open up more because of how many different people there were. It wasn't just the same group of people every day that you would see. It was a new group of people who had a different type of energy, who spoke differently, who acted differently in public, and they didn't really care. It wasn't noticed, I felt, but it was, to me, it was definitely a huge impact because in my drama class, I felt I could make an impact on these people because they're different and they actually chose to be where they are. So every day in drama class, I would get sit in together and we'd do projects in our class and we'd interact because we were different than everyone else. It was especially noticed in my world religions class. My teacher would especially point me out and ask me questions about my beliefs, my nationality. I would just tell him everything. I told him about how I didn't believe in any God. I just believed in being open and being agnostic. Because simply I just believed that it was being open and understanding each religion and not being blinded to a single one. I was composed of different ethnicities. It made up who I was and who I am to this day. It built me. By the time I reached the end of grade 12, I felt I made as big as an impact as I could. When I received my diploma, I looked out and I realized that all these years passed by, all the years of fighting, all the years of trying to understand who I was, had come to that moment where I was standing on that stage, and I realized that right there, I hadn't ended this worldwide fight of racism, but I had ended the biggest battle of my life so far. I had overcome one of my biggest obstacles in high school, and that was the first time I experienced racism. Thanks for watching this episode of The First. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. My name is Ryan Wynn. Follow me on Instagram at CorporateArtOfficial. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.